Hello everyone, Eric here, and welcome to my computational science video series. Today we're going to be looking at operators in the Python language. Because operators are so natural, I've decided to just pre-write a lot of my code so that this video will go more quickly. At the top here you can see I've defined three variables, x, y, and z, to be three numbers. And the math operators are basically the same as what we're used to. Addition and subtraction, use plus and minus just like we're used to from math class. Multiplication, we don't have the multiplication symbol, so we use a star. And then for division, we use a slash, which kind of looks like x is over the y, so x divided by y. Now, I do want to point out, in Python 3, the default when you do division with two numbers is to give you a floating point number. When you're using Python 2 or older, the default is to give you an integer. So here, where we have 23 divided by 3, in an older version of Python, you would get an integer or a whole number back. But in the current version, which is version 3.5 or any 3 version, you're going to have a floating point number. I want to point this out because when you're looking at different Python versions, you need to be careful whose code you're taking online. And if you're taking a Python 2 program and you're borrowing some code, or you're taking an algorithm, or you're checking something out, you just got to be careful that when you put that into your own program, you know what kind of division you're doing. Now, if we want to have integer division, what we can do is we can sort of use this double slash you see here. And the double slash is telling Python, hey, Python 3, I want integer division. So if you know that your code is coming from Python 2, just go through and make sure that you put the double slashes in there for the integer division. The next operator I want to point out is the mod operator. We don't use it very much in math class, but it comes up all the time in computer and computational science. In mathematics, we use mod a lot in advanced math, but not so much in high school or early college courses. I think it's a very useful operator. It's really the number that you have left over. So in this example where we're doing x mod y, we look at division, x divided by y. And we know, 3 into 23. 3 is going to go into 21. So the remainder is going to be 2, because 21 is 2 less than 23. So this remainder operator is kind of interesting. We can also use these mathematical operators for strings in a very natural way. If we think about taking two strings and adding them together, it makes sense to put one at the end of the other. So this is A for the string S, and string to print for the string SS get added together in a natural way. Then if we say 5 times the string, it makes sense to have the string repeated 5 times. So for addition and multiplication, it makes sense to overload and reuse these operators. When you create custom classes, there is a way to use your own operators and bring in the mathematical operators to do something that you want it to do. Finally, when we look at Boolean operators, they're a way to compare and come out with a result of true or false. Now, the common Boolean operators are less than or equal to, which we signify here with the less than symbol followed by the equal to symbol. Then we have greater than or equal to, once again the two symbols together to make 1. The most important thing to be careful about is if we want to check, is x equal to y? We have to say x equal y. And that's because if we use the single equal, we're taking the value of y and we're assigning it to x, and that's not what we want. We want to say x equal y to be the Boolean check, and it's a very common practice in computer programming. For x not equal to y, you can see we're using a not symbol here. Here in computers, and in a lot of computer science really, the not symbol is the exclamation point. And we can also use keywords with our Boolean operators such as and or to see if both statements are true or just one of two statements is true. Sometimes we only care, did one person choose a certain option? So we can use and or for some more sophisticated logic. So I decided to include and or as Boolean operators. They might be more a keyword, but in a way they are an operator. Anyway, so this is just kind of a very quick overview of the different operators. I'm going to run the program real quick to show you that this does run. We do get our results through the top. I do want to point out with the floating point division here, by default, we do get the 7.666. Below that, you can see we get just 7 for the integer division. Integer division will always round down. So even though normally we should round this up, with integer division, we always round down. Because of that, sometimes they call it the floor operator. The floor is below you, so you always round down. The modulus, or the remainder operator, gives us a remainder of 2, because if we say, 7 times 3 is 21, plus 2 gives us 23. Once again, we can see the string here, the two strings were just concatenated. One was put right after the other. The second string was printed 5 times. The first string was printed 5 times in the second string output. Then we kind of just went through and we tested all these Boolean operators. And you can see in the end, one of these was false, so the whole and was false. But one of these was true, so the whole or was true. Alright, so that's it for the operators. I hope this was useful, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for your time, and keep on coding.